what do I say? Hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping Into Happiness. I think Maggie's broken. I don't know.
It's Friday night.
We are your hosts, guys. Like, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Maggie. Woo!
What's happening?
It's just a level of energy. For those that don't know, we never record on the same day it goes live, right?
Yeah.
So that's true. Sometimes we do just the week ahead, but today we're kind of doing a power session. But it's a Friday, and for me, it's a Friday night. It's still kind of early in the afternoon for Rachel.
Yeah, it's only 3.
I'm like I'm turning up over here. I got my Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Like, it's been a good day, so I'm ready to talk some podcasts.
Yeah, she's got music rolling through her brain. Yeah, she's
right.
in it. She's in it.
We were singing right before we went live.
That
probably has something to do with it.
That's what it was. Well, welcome, friends.
Go.
So yeah, this is the second week of August, and we will get into a little bit of announcements, but I just kind of want to let everybody know what this week's topic is going to be, because I feel like it's very prominent right now. We are talking about literally kind of back to school, friends, because I don't know about y'all, but the day this releases, my kids go back to school. And so does Maggie, because Maggie's a teacher. So Maggie's school district starts today as well. So that's why we're recording a little bit in advance, but we kind of want to talk about what that does to our lives. Because I know my workout schedule changes during the school year because we've got pickups and drop-offs, and I've got kids doing this activity and going here. And, because with the different perspectives from Maggie and myself, like I have a kid schedule, but Maggie has the school schedule. So we're going to talk about, that flexibility, figuring out how to still get all of our things in, maybe when those schedules get a little wonky. So that's what today is going to be about. But we do have a couple announcements. So Maggie, do you want to get into announcements before we get talking about it?
Yes. The first announcement I would like to make, if you've been listening to the podcast consistently in the past few episodes, you know that I'm doing the Dopey Challenge in January. I always feel like I need to do the full spiel in case someone's listening to it, like one off, you know. But doing the 5K, 10K, half full, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida. The minimum goal was 900, right? And I have until December 15th to raise this money. As of today, we have raised $1,079.60.
Yay! That's more than what I checked. I think I checked yesterday, so we've had even more since yesterday. Nice.
Yay. We got some donations within the past 24 hours, and I actually got notified today because I'm on a team. We're all of us who are raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida are on a team.
Yay!
And I got a award for the top fundraiser of my team right now.
Yes.
Whoa, let's go!
Yes.
So I really have so many of my Sundrops to thank. Really, y'all have been so generous with your donations, and really all of it adds up. So I can't thank you enough. And I just want to express that I think we can continue to blow it out of the water. If you haven't had a chance to donate and you would like to support an awesome cause and have your name on a t-shirt that I will wear running, then please do check out the info in the Dropping Into Happiness pod Instagram. We also put it in the show notes, and by we, I mean Rachel does that. And then I actually told someone in a workshop that I was like, literally, you have Rachel to thank for every aspect of this podcast. I just show up. She does a lot of the work. But anywho, yes, I would love your all support in the fundraiser, because we have until December 15th, and we're on it. It's August 5th as the day we're recording this, August 10th the day you're hearing it. So let's go, baby.
I know. That's amazing.
Feeling good.
So question, I thought about this. Is this like, because for Boston Marathon, you have to raise for a nonprofit. So was this a requirement to run Dopey?
No.
Or was this something you wanted to do?
It was something I wanted to do. You can register for Dopey. It's competitive to get in because they just have a specific amount of spots they can allow, and they reserve a chunk of those spots for charity runners. But I didn't even wait for registration day. I contacted Boys and Girls Club and said, I would like to run for you. Can you put me on your list? Because for me, I love running for the sake of running, but for something like Dopey, I wanted a bigger picture in mind of a stronger why, because it's a
Yeah.
huge challenge. And so I'll be able to think about not only all the people that we're helping by fundraising, but also the wonderful people who supported me enough to donate to the cause. It's just going to pull me through those tough
That's nice.
training days and through the race. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing Dopey without doing it for fundraising.
One of our listeners
Yeah.
actually, I think, posted on, I don't remember if it was YouTube or our Instagram, but that her son had done the Dopey as well. So that's amazing. You guys are rock stars. I'm working on a 5K right now, and I'm like, I could not imagine. So you guys are so strong. Love all the dedication you put in. And yeah, did you see that? A fly just landed on my
There
forehead.
was a fly on Rachel's forehead.
So for anybody watching,
only YouTubers will know.
You see me like swinging. I'm not crazy, and he's like little, and he just wants to taunt me. I'm like, out of the entire rest of my house, this fly is going to just follow me. But yeah, so awesome, so rock star. Thank everybody, and honestly, I like looking at the messages that people have been leaving you too, because like if you donate, you can like put a little message, and it's so wonderful to see everybody's support.
Right, people are just so sweet.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very humbling. It's very humbling. Like between just the support of the fundraiser, the support of Dropping Into Happiness, the support of Instagram, like WW family. It's just, I never feel alone, and I never feel, undervalued. So it's really cool. Thanks, everyone.
I know, and it's funny. So I've been kind of documenting my Couch to 5K on my Instagram stories. And even on the days that like I have a challenging, I talk about it. I'm like, this was a rough one. And I love so much, almost every single time somebody will message me like, it's okay. I know that was a hard day. I've done that too. The support from others, even if they're not doing it or if they have done it, like it's just so beautiful to see that connection with people that maybe you've never even met. So I love that.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Awesome.
Me too. Too. Did we have any other announcements, or was that the one?
By this time, there should be Sundrop merch in the merch store. So just FYI, because remember, we got the Sundrop logo. I posted it this last week on Instagram. He's so cute. It's like a little mascot. I think it's like, we need to like give him a name now. I feel like our little Sundrop mascot, like Murray, the mascot. I don't know, but I feel like he should have a little name. He's got the little face and everything. Maybe Mr. Sundrop. I don't know, like the little Miss Attitude ones. Maybe we can have him do different faces. That'd be really funny. So there should be some Sundrop merch in the merch store. Wow, I was totally tongue-tying all of that. But yeah, other than that, no, I don't think I have anything coming up. But yeah, we just want to make sure we got the Dopey put out there. But yeah, let's hop on into this week's topic. So, okay, I feel like the same thing kind of happens for you that happens for me during the summer. So I've heard a lot of people recently in like our WW workshop say, oh, summer is so hard for me because I have no routine. And I'm like, really? Because I actually love my routine in summer because I don't have to make sure my kids are at school at this time. I don't have to make sure I pick up by this time. I don't have to make sure I pick up from practice. Like I have a lot more flexibility when it comes to my wellness. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, doing my running, not a problem. Tuesday, Thursday, doing some strength training, not a problem. But now that the school year is going to be starting, it's like, okay, who needs to be up at what time? Because my son is going to have a different start time than my daughter now. It's like, okay, does he need a ride?
Right. They're more puzzle pieces.
Does he need a ride? Does he, am I picking up on this time? So I have to figure out now how to work my wellness into their schedule. And I know you don't have kids, but I feel like it's because, your school year, because you were out for the summer, right?
Well, and it's interesting because the theme idea is back to school, but for me, this is just a big schedule shift in general. I was at the job, that I have now part-time, just a couple hours in the morning, then I'd come home and I was working from home the rest of the day. And so I had a lot more flexibility. And so I continued to work through summer with WW and had a huge portion of my schedule stay the same. And then I had the Beauty and the Beast musical we worked on until mid-July, so that was a big schedule commitment. And so really, was I ever not busy? No, but now it's like I am at a location from 7:15 to 2:45 minimum, Monday through Friday, not going home, not at the liberty to just like grab whatever's in the fridge. The workout classes that I was going to before, I won't have
I was going to say, because those were midday, right? A lot of those?
Yeah. And then, I still have 7 workshops a week. So even though we're talking about back to school and it's, definitely applicable to a lot of y'all that have kids or you are teachers or in the education world, I think it's just a topic to address in terms of any major schedule change in your day-to-day life, right? Because this is going to be a shift for me. So it's easy to get overwhelmed when that happens because you're so used to doing things a certain way, even if it's not a routine. You're like, well, I'm used to not having a routine.
Well,
now I have one.
I feel like in our workshops too, because like you said, for those that don't know, Maggie and I are also virtual wellness coaches with WW, which is the program we use to lose our 100 pounds. But when people started not working from home anymore, right, just going out to the world, I remember hearing so many people be like, okay, it was a struggle when they were like, okay, go home and work from home. That was a struggle to adjust. And they're like, well, now I got to go back out into the world. Now, in turn, that's gonna present some new and difficult struggles. So yeah, any major shift. Right. I even had Victoria, my member / friend Victoria, her department changed, which changed her hours. And that, you know what I mean? And so then she was like, okay, well, these are all the things that I liked to do for my wellness. And now I got to figure out how I can keep doing these when it's not going to be at this time anymore. And that can be a struggle. It really, really can. Especially if you feel like, well, great, now we talked about this with that all or nothing mindset, right? Like, what do I do now? I can't go now because I can't do my thing. So figuring out how to not have that kind of hit us too. Yeah.
Right. And so I think like when we can prepare for a schedule change, most often we know something's coming, right?
Usually,
it's very rare that something's sprung on us to where it derails our entire regular routine. Yes, like on a day-to-day, every now and then something comes up that wasn't in the routine. But for the most part, like we're talking big schedule shifts here. We have some time to prepare. So, and even if you don't anticipate having a schedule change as you're listening to this podcast, it's kind of nice to do the hypothetical sometimes, right? And just start to like think, what would I do? Right? So as I was preparing for this seasonal transition, I thought, okay, what are some of the things that are going to change? And I started writing those things out, like things we've already mentioned of my workout schedule was going to have to change. And the way that I handled lunch was going to have to change. And even sometimes breakfast was going to have to change. And what my days off were considered was going to change. So how was I going to utilize those? So kind of getting an idea of, okay, what's actually changing? Or is there anything that's staying the same? And then I really just started to look at how could I use my free time to my advantage to set myself up for success for the things that I know are going to be a little bit trickier, right? So I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast yet, but I've recently I think I did because I made it a STAR goal. I don't remember. But I said no Instagram, social media, any kind on Saturdays.
Or after 7. I think like at the end of the night you were going to put it down and
so during the weeknights I put my phone down as soon as we sit down for dinner. So my phone's in my room, but on Saturday it's a complete day off. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. Yeah. And that's from any social media, including WW Connect. Like I will still track my food, but I won't even go into Connect on Saturday. And for me, that is like a protected time. Because, I mean, Instagram and all that is a big time sucker for me. So then now, Saturdays, I've saved as my strategy day. And what that looks like is, I'll take some time on Saturday, the time that I would have been spending on social media, mindlessly scrolling, to say, okay, well, what's my workout schedule for the week? Let's just map it out here. What classes am I hitting when? Do I have any extra meetings where like my favorite class might be impacted? Do I need to do something differently? And so I just kind of write that out so I have a plan. Will the plan change sometimes? Probably. Things come up, right, that we can't expect. But I have that outline so I'm not going into the week thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Right. So I think when you know something's about to change, just spending the time to plan that out. And then what else was important to me? Well, my food. And I knew lunch was going to be a big thing. So then I started brainstorming lunch ideas. And I think I mentioned in the recent podcast, like I bought some new containers and stuff to like make lunch fun. So I was like, okay, we got to prepare for that because that's going to be a thing. And I know from past experience that like I am running like a chicken with my head cut off in the morning. So breakfast needs to be planned on this Saturday, that I need to know, like, okay, what am I going to have for breakfast Monday through Friday? So I think it's just taking the time to sit down and do the puzzle pieces and not letting it sneak up on you, because that's when things can get overwhelming. What do you think, Rachel?
I mean,
should we name this fly? That is.
And it's like
wreaking havoc.
And like, it's seriously, did you see it landed on my mic twice? Like, it's just like, what's going on? I want to hang out. Freaking fly. No, I do too. I love the idea of that structure, especially if you know yourself and you're like, I know I'm going to be crazy busy first thing in the morning. Have that ready. Have it ready, because for one, that's one less thing off your mind. That's one more sense of control in that kind of morning of chaos, especially if you know that chaos is going to happen. Don't try to change who you are. Just kind of adjust your approach to it. And so I like that. And I love your idea about the lunches and everything. But like, there are literal weeks where I'm like, because I do the same thing with my lunches. I always usually have my lunches ready to go, because when I'm at the station, I'm only there 4 hours. So I don't have an official lunch. Like, I don't have time to go and pick something up. I have to have it with me, or I'm starving by the time I get home. And I know myself, when I get too hungry, all bets are off. I want the closest thing. I'm like, you have a burrito? Cool. You have some cookies? Like, I will eat everything in sight. So I can't let myself get there, because once again, understanding who you are and knowing how you work, just prepare for that. Find those fun little things that you can do easy. And didn't you say you got on Instagram and got some really fun like meal prep ideas, like for some of the things you want to take?
Yeah,
I love doing that.
Yeah, that's another thing I did. I reached out, and I have a huge list of recipes to try. So that's helped me out too, because I know that Tuesdays and Wednesdays, my evenings are going to be, committed to workshops. So I know, okay, those are nights where I'm not going to have as much time to like cook a full-blown meal. So Monday night, I need to cook something that will be good for leftovers on Tuesday, or Sunday, I need to prep something. So it's like, I know when we feel busy or when a schedule change happens, we think, oh, no, I don't have time. But we all have time somewhere in our week where we can spend an hour or two to then set future you up for success. So then you end up saving so much time and mental energy in the long haul. And so I remember thinking that and we're going to have an episode on meal prepping. Yay, foreshadowing. But I used to think, and I'll probably repeat myself again, I used to think that I had to, for me to plan out my week, I had to do everything for the full 7 days in one sitting. And it's not, that's just not realistic for me, because I get overwhelmed, or things come up. Like, Rachel and I will say, okay, tomorrow we're going to record, right? And it wasn't on the schedule the whole week. So just things like that. So I've just said, okay, like, you're going to take time on Saturday or Sunday to do a few things that will be staples or anchors for you throughout your schedule. And then each night before going to bed, I set my menu for the next day. And then again, you could do the same thing with activity too. You don't have to plan out the full week of activity in one sitting.
Because like you said, especially if you don't know what's happening, what's going down. Because it's finding that flexibility too. I mean, if in our WW world, literally all of July, we talked about flexibility and being able to have flexibility within our journey. Because if we're like, oh, but I like my routine. This is my routine. That can feed into that all or nothing mentality, like I was saying earlier. Like, well, I wanted to work out this morning. No, I can't. So I guess I just can't do it at all. Well, okay. Well, something got in the way. Could you do 5 minutes later? Could you do 15 and 15 instead of, a full 30 in the morning? Like, finding that flexibility too. So, like, I know I love all and I love how you're saying, like, even just the day before, you don't have to have the entire week set out, but sometimes, especially like, in my world with kids, I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. So like, it's just like, okay, what could my day look like? And like, who was it? We have another member in WW, Miss Pinky. She always says, I don't have plan A. I have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Because you just don't know.
Those hypotheticals, like I was talking about, just like go through. Because a lot of the things that we encounter, we've encountered before in some way, shape, or form. Like a kid's like practice being thrown on you at the last minute when you could have known about it like 3 weeks ago. Like that's probably happened in some way, shape, or form before, or like a meeting popping up on your schedule that you weren't anticipating, or a class getting canceled that you were hoping to go to, or, like a lot of these life experiences, we've gone through them in some shape or form before. So it's harkening back to, okay, what did I do when that schedule change happened and it didn't go so well for me? What got in my way? What could I try differently if this scenario were to happen again? And so that's why I made sure to mention, maybe you're someone listening here, you're like, my schedule's been set for like 30 years. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like maybe just think about the hypothetical, because life comes at you fast and things can change, and you want to be prepared with options. So I like the idea of the plan A, plan B,
because
and so on.
Like I said, you don't always know. Like you could have a great set schedule, but like you said, something could happen, something could change. Just like the other day, Tuesday was such a wild day for me. I couldn't even go into the radio station because we had scheduled pickup, but my daughter had softball camp, so I had to take her to softball camp first, and then I had to go pick up my son. Then we had to go back to the school to go pick up schedules, and he had to take pictures, and then we had to go back home because he forgot his books from last year, so we had to return books from last year, but then pick up books from this year, and then I had to go back over to the school and then take him home and then pick her up, and then I had to go take him to get a haircut, and then she was supposed to have a softball meeting at 1:30, but they ended up having it at the end of her camp. So I'm sitting in the car for like 45 minutes after I should have picked her up, like wondering why they haven't released them yet. So that threw off my schedule because I'm like, I had other things, and it's just like I just had to roll with it.
No wonder you are a Google Calendar queen. Oh my gosh, that is a lot to come up with. So I think another thing too is utilizing some type of visual, like some type of calendar, or have some type of visual. And I'm someone for a long time identified as, I'm not a calendar girl, or I'm not a planner girl. I'm like a Post-it note, or you tell me and I'm like, yeah, I got it. And then I 98% of the time will remember, but there's always like 2%. So I feel like writing things down actually does help, and to have a visual, whether it's on paper or electronic. I have noticed that in my past few weeks that I've really been working on identifying as an organized person. It does help.
Well, and especially if you have a significant other, I promise you, because my husband's family won't tell him if there's a birthday party. Because we have, between the two of us, 17 nieces and nephews. They don't tell him, hey, there's a birthday party this weekend, because he won't remember until an hour after the party started. They'll be texting us like, hey, where are you guys? So now they know to tell me. So I put it on the Google Calendar, and then I add it to his calendar, and I do a week ahead notification, and then a day before notification, and then an hour before notification. I remember the first time it came off, he was freaking out because he's like, I don't remember putting this on my calendar. I was like, I did. I put it in your calendar. I mean, I put things in your calendar.
Yes.
I put things on Maggie's calendar.
You're like, invitation to record. I'm like, thank you. But it's true though. It's like, because I think, especially if anyone out there listening is like me, where you try to just keep everything in your brain because you think you're so awesome and you can do that. Trust me, that's how I felt forever. I think it's just nice, especially with the schedule change, to just have a good old-fashioned brain dump session of like, what's my new schedule going to look like? What are some things that are going to have to shift? Where do I have pockets of free time that I could strategize to set myself up for success in the future when I don't have that free time? I think that can make the schedule transitions just a lot smoother.
Well, and you know what else I like about the Google Calendar? Instead of having a paper calendar where I'd have to white it out or scribble it, you just like click it hard and drag it to wherever else you need to shift it to. I love that.
Yeah,
I know.
No mistakes.
Well, hopefully, if anybody is having that shift change, because like I said, I know a lot of our WW members are teachers. So I know we've had a lot of people out all summer getting back into that routine. Maybe your kids are going back. Maybe they're going to different schools and you have multiple drop-offs or multiple pickups. But remember, friends, remember, I've said this week actually a couple of times. Remember, when we do these things for us, when we make ourselves our first priority, we then can give our best selves to those that we love, to those in our life. So please don't let your health and wellness fall to the backside because you're so concerned with everybody else, because you are going to wear yourself ragged.
Right.
100%.
Right. Wouldn't it be interesting if we, instead of saying, how can I fit my wellness into my new schedule, it's like, how can I fit my new schedule into my wellness?
Putting out
I feel like
priority.
that's a mindset shift. Like, it needs to be the focal. Because then we're not talking just specifically weight loss. We're just talking about being well, having peace, like not having that extra stress in your life of what am I going to eat? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? That there's more to wellness than just weight.
Yeah.
So great combo. We really rattled off a lot there, y'all. So you might need to re-listen to that one. Just take some notes.
Write it down. Take some notes.
Oh my gosh. So we have a weigh-in update for you. So we'll share this weigh-in, and then the first episode of September will be our next update. Is the plan that Rachel and I have.
I know, because you weigh in on Fridays.
Woohoo. So do you want to go
weigh in
first?
On Mondays. So my Monday weigh in this week, I lost exactly 1. I was like, I'm cool with that. Because they say essentially 1 to 2 is very normal, very healthy, and I had 2 days where because I think I mentioned we had my son's bowling. It was a youth bowling tournament, state tournament at a bowling alley, and bowling alleys have really good food, and I did really good on Saturday. I only ate the snacks that I brought, but the next day I ended up having nachos. So I'm like, a couple of days I went a little over on my points, and so I knew it wasn't going to be drastic, but I was super, super happy with my 1. So I'm already on a good path this week with all of my running, my activity, my water, and so I've already seen a good trend for this week. So yeah, doing good. Had 1 pound loss last week, so it put me at almost 157 even. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah, so I think the last I checked in with you all was July 29th weigh-in of 201.6. Does that sound familiar? Maybe. I don't know. But August 5th, which was today when I weighed in, I was down 2.8 pounds, 198.8. So we're in Wonderland, and I'm hoping that I just stay here for now, because it was a little moment for me to leave Wonderland for a little bit and hover in that like 200, 201. I was just like, but because y'all, I lived over a decade of my life in the upper 200s, so I was like, okay, you know what, this is just a minor little moment. We're gonna get back there. So I'm really excited about that. But I'll keep y'all posted. Hopefully we have a crushing August.
So like you're saying, so the first episode of September we'll check in again, and we'll let you guys know kind of how the month went, because lots of things can happen. Like I said, school's starting, so we got a lot going on. So we'll just kind of see how this all rolls out. But into some star goals and recommendations. So my star goal for this week, I wrote it down. I'm going to look at my next week, because like I said, my kids start school next Wednesday. And I've been doing my Couch to 5K Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to make sure that that's not going to be affected. Should I have to look at my timing and, when people need to be up and get to school, and maybe I just need to adjust my timing of when I go. But you know what I mean? I'm not saying, I guess I can't do it on that day. Nope. I'm going to see, how do I still fit into this day? Is it going to be still in the morning, or maybe do I need to bump it to the afternoon or the evening? But so I need to just look at my schedule, and I'm going to adjust. That's what I'm going to do for this next week. And my recommendation, I feel like I do a lot of not physical like props or anything for recommendations, because mine this week is flexibility, friends, whether it be mental, physical, just flexibility in general. I mean, I don't think you realize how much tension you're holding until you actually stretch it out in the evenings. And especially if schedules are changing, schedules are updating, you're going to be holding on to a lot of it. So find that flexibility in your life, in your world, and find that flexibility in your body. So that's my recommendation for this week. So what about you, Max?
Yay. Star goal. So things that worked really well for me last week was meal prepping breakfast for the work week. So I'm going to do that again, either probably Sunday. And then I would like to write my menu for the next day, the night before each night this week. So that's my intention. And then for my recommendation, I do have props, and it's great for back to school if you're packing lunches for you or the kids. I've been loving this snack combo. So pretzel crisps, which there's lots of fun flavors of these. One serving is about 3 points. I do mine in grams. I don't count individual pretzels because and then I've been pairing it with a Laughing Cow cheese. So if y'all have not tried these are 1 point
per wedge
spreadable cheese wedges, but I've been 1 per wedge, and I've been specifically loving the creamy garlic and herb. Herb, that's a funny word. paired with these pretzels, it's just been an awesome snack combo for your lunchbox.
Those are the pretzels I use for
snack.
my adult Lunchable. I put four of the pretzels with 1 point.
Yay!
Yeah, so if you are a counter,
and a little crunch.
Yeah.
Right. You could probably weigh out 1 point's worth as well, but I don't know those.
I don't know the grams, but I know it's 4. So I'm gonna have to look at it soon because I'm near the bottom of my bag and they're all broken in half, and I'm like, aww.
Right, yeah, that's when weighing really comes in handy.
Yeah. All right, so do you have our closing quote?
Friends. I do have it. So our quote of the day ties really well into our conversation. Be stubborn about your goals, but flexible about your methods.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for dropping by, friends.
And have a magical day. Bye.